Hi, we are from Singapore Good Homes, and today we'll be sharing with you 5 basic fundamentals when selecting an investment property.
Yes. You are looking for a property today, you'll realize that every home that you go to, be it a new launch or resale, the real estate agent will be talking to you all the good points about the property. And at the end of the day, it just gets more confused because different properties, they do have different attributes.
So what makes a good investment property? Point 1, connectivity. Buyers and tenants tend to prefer properties that are closer to MRT stations, and that means lesser commute time, and time is money.
Yes, let's take for example, we have 2 properties here. One will be Park Centrals and the other will be River Isles. Both about 10 years old with about 600 units total. Over the past years, you could see that River Isles has been transacting at a price of about 1,000 per square foot, and Park Centrals, which is 4 minutes walk to the MRT, is transacting about over 1,200 per square foot. So you can see that people are more willing to pay for properties that are nearer to MRT.
Talking about District 19, that brings us to our second point, which is growth hotspot. In Singapore, a lot of what lies ahead for the neighbourhood largely depends on the URA master plan, and when we look at property data, we see a strong correlation between property prices as well as the upcoming plans for that vicinity.
Yes, let's take District 19 again for example. We do have the Punggol District. At the same time, we know that there will be a new university which will be set up in that area. And in the near future, you could see the transformation of the Paya Lebar Air Base as well. Let's take, for example, again, 2 properties here. I bring back River Isles, and we have another project called the Palms Isle, which is in Changi. Both projects, again, they are about 10 years old each. And we could see that over the past 10 years, Palm Isles has a growth of about 16%. Whereas if you are owner of River Isles, you would be taking home 31% over the past 10 years.
And I must say that both projects have quite decent profits. I must say, I think it depends on the project size as well, and that brings us to our third point, project size. So for River Isle and Palm Isle, they are both about 400 to 600 units. Whereas if you look at a smaller project, it might give you more privacy, but if you have a larger project size, what that means is more transactions that runs along the years, and more transactions for your future buyers as well as your bank valuers to see what is a fair value for your unit.
Imagine yourself staying in a small project today and you want to sell your unit, and you realize that your last transacted was a neighbor that was done 2 years ago. And it's very difficult for you to justify the price, even the market has picked up significantly today. Let's take another example. Here I have Minton Residence, over 1,000 units, and Urban Residence, about 47 units, both about 10 years old. And over the past 10 years, you could see that Urban Residence has a growth of only about 16%. At the same time, Minton has hit about 27% of growth.
Yep, and that's despite Minton being leasehold and Urban Residence being freehold. But let's leave freehold and leasehold to another conversation because both actually have their own pros and cons. That'll be for another video. That brings us to our fourth point, which is rentability, and what that means is how easy is it to rent out your unit. And that makes a lot of difference when you are buying an investment property versus an own stay, because when you are an investor, should the market stagnate, you will want to have an alternative to rent out your unit instead.
Yes, generally, when it comes to rental unit, what the tenants strongly consider would be those that are near to the MRT, especially they are talking about connectivity to work. All right, you also be looking at the amenities, where are they getting their daily groceries. You'll also be considering like schools, are they nearby the schools as well? Yep, these are some of the important factors that you will need to consider.
Another thing that you can look at as well is the unit size and the location. For example, a smaller unit might be easily rented out closer to town because singles and couples might prefer to stay closer to town as well as CBD. Whereas, if you were to purchase an OCR unit, perhaps it will be better to buy a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom to rent out to families that are more comfortable in that area as well.
So I'll say understanding your tenant pool is important as well. Like for example, if you have a unit that is near a Japanese school, more likely you'll be getting Japanese tenants. So it brings us to the last point, which will be exit strategy. We need to plan for one day that we will want to sell, and who do we sell to, and when do we sell it.
And I think in general, majority of the upgraders that purchase resale condos come from the BTOs that are within that area. So in general, if you have a larger number of BTOs that are about to MOP within that area, there will be higher demand for your unit in the coming years. And that's further supported by the data that we have, the 10-year data, whereby higher property prices are actually seen in areas with larger MOP pools.
And if you have a unit that is near the good schools, it will be something that is very much sought after as well. I think parents in Singapore will agree that if you have chance to land your children in a good school, you want to be moving within at least the 1 kilometer radius of that popular school.
So that sums up our 5 fundamentals. To recap, we have first, connectivity; second, growth hotspot; third, project size; fourth, rentability; and the last one that we shared was exit strategy.
But of course, not forgetting there are also other factors, like you're looking at the unit size, the price quantum, the layouts, the facing, so on and so forth. So just put all this together and you'll get a good gauge of what is a good investment property. Alright, thank you for your time. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like our video channel and click the bell button for the next video. Alright, and I'm Gerald.
I'm Hazel, and
Thank you for watching Good Home Singapore.